Well, it was going to happen at some point, and it's Ryanair that have decided to make the first move. As of the 12th of November 2025, they are making a big change to how you board your flight. They will completely phase out physical boarding passes and move to a fully digital system. And in this short video update, I'll look at what's changing, what it means for you as a passenger, and how to prepare, so you don't end up in the airport arguing with your phone, or worse, a Ryanair gate agent. Imagine that. So here's the big headline from the 12th of November 2025. Ryanair will switch to digital only boarding passes, or DBPs as they're going to be termed, for all passengers. They have decided to give us a technological nudge and remove the choice of being able to present the traditional paper version, forcing us to use the digital equivalent. And this means no more printing your A4 pass at home, no more crumpled bits of paper, I guess, in your pocket. It's all done via the Ryanair app. And Ryanair says it will save over 300 tons of paper every year and make the boarding operation faster and smoother. Of course. And they also say about 80% of their passengers already use the app. And to put that into context, Ryanair flew over 200 million passengers up to the end of their financial year in 2025. So it brings that remaining 20% into the digital realm, which is still a fairly hefty number. They said the transition will begin with their winter schedule, and there will be a short grace period for travellers adjusting to the change, whatever that means. Now, even though we are going full DBP, there are still some exceptions. If you're flying from airports in Morocco like Casablanca, Marrakesh or Agadir, if you're flying from Turkey, or if you're flying from Tirana in Albania, those airports still do not accept a digital boarding pass, and you'll still need a physical one to get to your plane to get home. So in short, for most airports, it's going digital, but there are still some stragglers. And according to the Ryanair website, if you've flown from one of these airports, as long as you have checked in online, they will issue you the printed boarding pass at arrival to the airport, but it doesn't actually detail where. So let's talk about what it actually means for you, the traveller. Well, you'll no longer need to print out a boarding pass via your home printer, only to find out you've run out of ink at 10 p.m. the night before your flight, or worry about losing your paper pass, which I guess is a positive. The app lets you store multiple boarding passes if you are travelling as a family or a group, and you'll get real-time updates like gate changes or delays directly on your phone, which I actually think is really useful. And as a Brucey bonus, you can also claim that you're helping the planet, which is always nice when you've paid 15 quid to reserve a seat, isn't it? But what about this? What happens if your phone dies before boarding? You could be in trouble, but Ryanair officials FAQs says if your smartphone or tablet dies before airport security, we'll issue you a free boarding pass at the airport. So they have thought about that. And if you don't have a smartphone, they've covered that too. As long as you've checked in online before arriving, you'll receive a free boarding pass at the airport, or a free printed boarding pass at the airport, I should say. However, if you forget to check in online, that is when the fees will apply. So the key thing is you have to make sure that you check in on the app before you travel. However, it doesn't specifically state on the website what the fees would be if you haven't checked in online, but I'm guessing around the £20 to £30 mark. And if anybody does know what it is, let me know in the comments. And let's remember, this is the airline that once floated the idea that they were going to start charging you to use the toilet. So they probably think that digital boarding passes might just be their most customer-friendly move yet. So how do we prepare for all of this? Well, I'll be honest, I tend to think like a traveller and not an airline. And I've always liked to have a paper backup copy of my boarding pass. And maybe it's just me, but I think that's a bit of a safety net, especially if my phone or battery dies, or if an app decides to crash or freeze at the worst possible moment. Highly unlikely, I know, but not impossible. And honestly, what's to stop somebody turning up at the airport and saying they don't have a phone, even though they've checked in online, and just asking for a printed boarding pass anyway? I don't really understand that. And according to Ryanair's own FAQs, if you've already checked in online, they'll print you one at the airport. So technically, it's an option. Anyhow, let's get practical then. How do you make sure that you're ready for this change? It's all pretty straightforward, really, to be honest. So step one, make sure you have downloaded the Ryanair app. Make sure it's installed, make sure it's updated, and that you're logged into your account well before travel. Step two, check through the app. Ryanair check-in opens between 24 and 30 hours before your departure, depending on seat selection, of course. But once you've done that, your digital boarding pass appears in the app. Step three, what I would do is potentially screenshot your pass just in case. And again, Ryanair's FAQs do confirm that once you've checked in online, the digital boarding pass will be available offline too. But it's smart, I think, just to take a screenshot just in case. And step four, remember to keep your phone charged. A dead battery is the last thing you want before boarding. Take a small power bank potentially if needed. And remember, if your phone dies, Ryanair say they'll reissue your boarding pass free of charge as long as you've already checked in online. And step five, check your departure airport's rules. If you're flying from one of the exception airports, again, Morocco, Turkey or Tirana to the UK, you'll still need a printed pass. And this information is listed clearly on Ryanair's FAQ page. So I think do these 5 things and you'll breeze through boarding. No paper, no panic, and no problems. So there you go. Ryanair's move to a digital-only boarding pass is coming up in the next couple of weeks. Ryanair say it's simple, more efficient. Just make sure you've got the app, your phone's charged, and your check-in is done. And if your phone dies at the airport, at least Ryanair won't charge you £20 to print you a new one. For now. So if you found this video useful, hit like, hit subscribe, and definitely share it with anybody flying Ryanair in the next couple of weeks. I will be one of those people. Now let me know in the comments, do you think other airlines will follow suit and move to digital boarding passes? Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.